Hey guys, and welcome to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. My name is Lindsay. You can find me on Instagram as Lazy Lemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. This is my podcast all about my knitting, crochet, cross stitch, but I don't have any to show you today because I did one color and then I put it away because it hurt my finger. But I did work on some, and any other crafty thing that I get into. So let's get into it. So I have my water with me today, and let's get started. It is Friday, August 14th, 2026, and it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A little later than normal because I had to wait for a guy to come and check for a leak with our internet, as weird as that sounds. One of our cables was just, the signal wasn't going through it as strong as it could and was causing essentially an internet leak. So had to wait for that to come and get repaired. Now it's done. Now I'm ready to go. So this is episode 63, and we are going to talk about everything that I have done over the past 2 weeks because it's been that long since I've recorded. And yeah, we'll be here for a little bit. So hope you have something to drink, something to work on while we talk and catch up. But I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 kids. The husband is upstairs so I can do this recording, and the children are at school because back to school started this week. So that has made me very happy as a stay-at-home mom. So, and also heartbroken too. But we'll talk about that in life. So, first up is finished objects. And I have one finished object to show you guys. And it is a pair of socks. I have both of them here. This is the colorway Prune Hill from Nanette Wake Studios. And I love this yarn. It is so soft, so colorful. I love a variegated yarn like this. I've been doing a lot of self-striping yarn here recently, and to get a little bit of variety into it just made it so nice. They're just so pretty and so simple. Because I did vanilla socks on Magic Loop by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I followed her pattern. And I do a 2x2 ribbed cuff. I do that for 20 rows. I do a 30 row leg, so not very long on my leg. Do a heel flap and gusset, foot and toe. And with this, I didn't cut my yarn. I didn't do anything but one start and one end. And I had 2 ends to weave in per sock, so this went by so fast. I started these on the 24th of July and finished them on the 11th of this week. And I do 64 stitches for my socks. These were 68 grams of yarn out of my stash that I had. And I still have some left over out of the yarn that I made the socks with. This cake is still 52 grams left that I have. And as you guys know, I love to pair it with a contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. So I might just do that. I might take this too, because together this is 86 grams of yarn, which is plenty for a pair of socks. And I might do some contrast socks soon. We shall see. But that is my one and only FO that I have for today's episode. But that doesn't mean that I haven't been working these past 2 weeks. I have. I've got lots to show you guys. So, first up is this crocheted square that I have. Y'all can see the center right there where I started this blanket. This is just a square. I have I want to say 4 of these cakes, which I'll show you the cake in just a second. I have 4 of them, and the last time you saw it, hold on, I just saw the progress keeper. There it is. It's here in the corner. It is just a simple acrylic heart from Twin Mountain Handcrafts. That's where I was last time I was working on this blanket. I finished this square and it matches the first one as far as size goes. And I started, let's take the progress keeper off. I started the 3rd square for this blanket that will be for my best friend. It is a simple granny square, but that doesn't stop it from being fantastic. So the yarn, let me show you guys, is, it is a Caron Cloud Cakes. This is the perfect phasing one. So it starts as one color and fades either light or dark, depending on, you know, which way you work from the cake. I work from the center. And this is the color Royal. So it's a royal blue that it starts out as. And this is what I have so far. I have started in the center, just worked my way out, not very far on it at all. Like 10 or 11 rows. And then I just actually turned a row right there. So I do my turns here in the center instead of at a corner, and that's where I'm at. So that's where I put the progress keeper so we can check it next time. For this yarn, I am using my Clover Amour 5mm crochet hook. It is becoming one of my favorites to work with. It is very nice hand grip. It's very nice for finger placement. I still like my furls. I still like my Susan Bates, but that one is creeping up there to be a favorite hook for sure. So I've been enjoying that one a lot. And with this yarn, it's just so soft. It's 100% polyester, and it is impeccable to work with. Love it so much. Then the other blanket that I've been working on, it's also beside me, I've got everything beside me here, is one that y'all saw last time. No, the ends aren't woven in on this one either. Okay, but it is this corner to corner blanket. I don't know what you can see out of that. There we go. That white is the very bottom corner of it. And I have 3 repeats of the color. The white is an ivory, the blue is a soft blue, and that brown is the colorway cinnamon. In the yarn, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. And for this, I have added 8 squares to this blanket. I have finished all of the white squares and added in 3 of the blue squares here for this. It is so hard to finagle when I'm working it diagonally like this, but that's okay. And I'm just working it up as the blanket goes. And this is the front side because it's all nice and neat, and the back side has all of the tails that I haven't woven in yet, which is okay. I like to do it when I have 4 together so that I can get them woven in all directions that they need to go in. So I say that as if I don't have enough to do that, but I have quite a bit, especially right down there, that I could just weave those in because I have all 4, but I haven't yet, and that's my issue to deal with. So this blanket that I am crocheting is also using a 5mm crochet hook. Hold on. This one I am jumping back and forth between the Clover and a Furls hook, just whichever one I have beside me. 90% of my projects will be with a 5mm hook. Occasionally, depending on the yarn, I will drop down to a 4mm hook, but no, 5 is where it's at. And because I don't make anything that requires like a gauge, I don't require anything like that. So I always do my trusty 5mm for my yarn. I knit small, crochet big. Well, I wouldn't say big, I'd say normal, but that's where it's at. So right here, this square is actually a corner to corner square. And for it, you start in one corner and you work your way to the other corner. Where did I start this one? Have I already started weaving in the ends? I may have. I may have started weaving in the ends on the edge. Oh yes, I have, because it's the outer edge. And so I have done all of the outer edge of the blanket. But anyway, this corner to corner, it started here and it just works side by side. And this is a 6x6 square. And so it is 6 rows across and 6 columns up for it to square off. And each square is a 6x6. Looks like a rectangle until it has its partner beside it, and then it balances itself out. And this one is for the little boy that I am babysitting, and it is so cute. I love it. Gives me teddy bear vibes, just with this cream, blue, and brown. Just gives me little boy and his teddy bear, and that just makes me so happy. And it's so cute. But that has gotten 8 squares added to it since the last time you saw it. And then one thing that you have seen a very long time ago, and I've lost it already. So the next thing that you haven't seen in a very long time is this hat that I've been working on. I am knitting it on my ChiaoGoo red lace. This is size 2, which is a 2.75 needle, and it's a 16 inch. That is the label for the needles. I buy them on Amazon. I buy them through any type of shop that will sell them. Basically, love ChiaoGoo. They're my go-to for knitting needles. This is yarn from, was it Joann's or Michael's? I think I used to get it at Michael's, but they no longer sell it. But it's the Loops and Threads Impeccable, and like it's very thin fingering weight, almost lace weight, but it's a very fingering weight, very thin, very soft yarn. I don't have one with the label beside me, but this yarn works up phenomenally for a thin single layer, wonderful double layer hat. So of course I'm making a Musselburgh with it. And the last time you saw this, I actually have a progress keeper on here, and it's green, so you can see it against the yarn, because orange yarn and an orange progress keeper, you can't see nothing. But anyway, that's where I was the last time I worked on this hat. So I've gotten quite a bit of progress. This was going to be the hat that I always took with us to the hospital, and for a long time it was, but then I would always forget to work on it while we were at the hospital. And so I decided that I was going to bring it in and actually give it some love. And so I've slowly been working on it here and there, just with life that happens to everybody. I am trying to add the stitch marker to like 2 stitches below where I'm currently at without pushing the stitch marker into my finger, which I have done a lot recently with cross stitching. I decided to pick that back up too, and I realized why I needed to take a break, because I use my middle finger to help push the needle through the thread and through the fabric, the Aida cloth, and it was just, I would push it in the same spot over and over and over again. And with cross stitch, those needles are so small, and even though the eye of the needle, that end is not as sharp as the tip, it still hurts if you're pressing in one single spot over and over again. So I was able to only do like, it was a small 10 by 10 square, which I know that's 100 stitches in cross stitch, but still it was very small, very little progress, hurt my finger, so I set it down. But back to my knitting. This is not a lot, very little, and very pumpkin color. Like that is a more accurate color representation. I know like if I put it back here, like with my shirt, it's getting a little bit more red. But that's just because my shirt is highlighter caution orange. Like it's literally meant for if you're working construction so people can see you and don't hit you. That's my favorite color orange, is the government employee color orange. If it glows in the dark, that's the color I want. But the hat here is a very good pumpkin color. I don't know what the name of it is. It probably is pumpkin. And there was something in the hat. Oh, just a tiny little piece of thread. But yeah, that's the progress that I have on it. And this has slowly become my school pickup project, because I always have one of those now that school is back in session, and it is living in its little regrets bag that I have here. Where did I get this bag? Unusual Surroundings is where I got this bag. And I don't think they're making bags anymore, but I wish they would, because I love them. They're great size, and love the fabric, because anybody from the 90s loved the Rugrats. My favorite was always Tommy, and I love this bag. So that is what I've been knitting on. And the last whip to show you is going back to crochet. So this one you will have seen if you follow me on TikTok, which I do not promote my TikTok at all. It's not something that I reference ever at all. It's basically, I have it so that other people can send me TikToks. So for this blanket, I decided that starting August 1st, I was going to crochet a Halloween chaos blanket. But I don't like chaos. I don't like random stitches, and I don't like random colors in a way that I can't control. And I get it. The whole point of it is to be chaos. I don't like that. I like control. So I'm doing a Halloween controlled blanket. And I'm only doing 4 colors, and I'm only doing 1 stitch. And so everybody's like, that's just a regular blanket. There's nothing controlled about it. That's the point. That's what I like. So I am just now getting to the point where I think scrappy projects are okay, but they have to still be a uniformed scrappy project. So like scrappy socks, it's still a sock. It's still the same stitch over and over again, but the different yarns. Or a scrappy, like, granny stripe blanket. It's still a granny stripe blanket, but it's different yarns over and over again. To fully give over to the chaos of different stitches and different color yarns, not there yet. Not in my heart yet, and that's okay. I want to work on what I want to work on, and that's what I did. So August 1st, I cast on with this black, and that is the Void Black. That is so black, it's colorless. That's the point. The color for this is actually called Pepper.com. I don't know why. I didn't name it. It's just its color. But that is day 1. Day 2 is orange, because it can't be a Halloween blanket with some orange, without some orange. Day 3 is purple. And day 4 is green. And this green is a lime green. That's its colorway name. The orange and purple are just called orange and purple. So those are the 4 colors I'm using. And for the base row, the bottom row, I am doing a huge blanket. Okay, so this is the black end. That's where the first repeat ends. Then it goes again to a whole nother repeat. And then I have started the 3rd repeat. I have 1 more to add. It's supposed to be for day 12. Yes, I'm 2 days behind if you're watching the podcast when it goes up and not referencing the TikTok videos, but don't tell anybody that. Shh, it's a secret. It's what drafts are for. But I am doing this blanket when I get to the end, which will be the green square. When I get to the end and I need to start the 2nd row, I'm going back up to the top, and I'm starting with the orange colorway. And so all the colors are just going to be shifted by 1. And so then it's going to be orange, purple, green, and then black. And so every color is then going to be shifted, and it ultimately is going to look like this, because it's just 3 color repeat 3-color repeat, 3-color repeat, and then when I got to the end of the first row, which that's not how I constructed it, but it's ultimately what it is, I just moved the colors up and then did the same repeat over and over again. So that's how the Halloween blanket is going to look like. But for now, I am folding it up. I did not mention, this is, can you guess what it is? Who said corner to corner? Because that's exactly what it is. It's a corner to corner blanket. It is using a 5mm crochet hook, but this is a 10 by 10 square. So 10 by 10, 6 by 6. Well, just for size comparisons, I can do, well, I can't, but there, you can see the difference, can't you? Yes. That is what it is. A 10 by 10 is almost a 12 by 12 for that. So much bigger squares, much more time in this blanket, and it is bringing me so much joy. I typically keep it folded up like an accordion because I just think that that's so fun to be able to see all of the colors working with each other. And I have a Halloween sandwich. Look at that. Ignore the ends. Those will get woven in eventually, I promise. But yeah, I have a Halloween sandwich, and that is my Halloween controlled blanket that I am making over on TikTok, and it will actually be on Instagram as well. Just haven't done that transition over, but my TikTok, if you wanted to know, is just Lazy Lemon. Very simple. That's basically my name across all boards. So that's been the most fun that I've had, because again, that's 11 squares that I have done on that blanket. It's bringing me so much joy. All right, so that's it for my whips. Lots of crochet, very little knitting, so much happiness. And that's what I like. As long as it brings me joy and happiness, I don't care if it's crochet, cross stitch, diamond painting, baking, reading, whatever it should be. But let's go into our future cast-ons, because I still have my Knit Picks Santorini to cast on when I dig it out of these cubes. It's somewhere back here. Haven't dug it out. That's okay. It's fine. It's comfortable. It's okay. I've got enough on my plate right now. I'm fine. I don't need more socks, because the next sock that I need to cast on, there's going to be crinkling, and I apologize, is my Freckled Whimsy Yarn of the Month colorway. I get the Serendipity base. This is not Yarn of the Month. I just lied. This is the Christmas Club Year 2. This is month number 9, so it's August because it's a month out. And this colorway is called Stocking Stuffers, and I have seen it worked up on Instagram, and it is beautiful. I'm not even showing you the label, I'm just showing you the yarn, and I apologize for that. But this is a 75-25, and I will be caking this up probably this afternoon once I pick the kids up from school, because they like to help me wind my cakes. And I will be casting that on next week, because I only have the next 2 weeks to complete those socks before the end of August. So that's my next cast on for socks, is my Freckled Whimsy. Still love it. Just got distracted by the crochet, and that's okay. Fell in love with my first love all over again. And then that's it. Let's go into life, reading, and watching and wrap this up. Hopefully you still have your drink. You haven't finished your project yet, because amazing if you did. Congratulations. But let's get into life, which is the kids are back in school. They went back middle of this week. It was so bittersweet. My mama heart loves their excitement for school. Love school supply shopping. I do not like shoe shopping. I will say that. We did that the weekend before school. Do not recommend. Shoe shopping, not good for children. Now, once they get a little bit older, end of middle school, beginning of high school, I think it's going to be a little bit easier, because then their styles are going to be more established. But yeah, your September child and your May child are 2 different children in the school year, so don't like shoe shopping. But they're back to school. I love it. The house, it's quiet. I love that too. So outside of the baby that I'm watching, little Tate, he's here a couple of days a week, but the house is quiet and enjoyable and everything I could want. So then I am rereading. Oh, nope. Let's do what I finished reading. I finished reading Kingdom of Ash. So I completed the Throne of Glass series and my heart is so happy. Like, that's just, I can't get over how enjoyable that series was. I think it concluded very well. People always say that it wrecked them. No, it didn't. It filled a void in me that reading does, and that's just, it gave me the comfort, and it had so much going on in it that just made me be able to have the emotions and let them out. It was a good outlet to have. So then, because I finished the Throne of Glass series, I am now in my ACOTAR series. So I have read ACOTAR before. I just wanted to show you guys my cover because it's one of the originals and I absolutely love it. And this is one of the first prints, so it is extremely special to me. I have read ACOTAR before. I am rereading ACOTAR so that I can read Crescent City and then the newest ACOTAR book that comes out at the end of October. But before that happens, Burn of the Everflame comes out in like 3 weeks. Well, it comes out September 8th, so like 2 weeks. But it comes out, and when it does, I am going to be buried so deep into that book, I probably won't podcast that week. So I'm going to finish that immediately. It's getting devoured immediately. But I was going to say, now that school is back in section, we're back to weekly episodes, but we'll see that week of September when that book comes out, because that is something that has a chokehold on me, is the theories for that book. There are plenty of books out there that I have theories on. We can talk Fourth Wing, we can talk ACOTAR, we can talk any books like that. For theories, nothing gets me down the rabbit hole like the Kindred's Curse Saga by Penn Cole. And for that, I'm grateful. Let's wrap this up and call it a day. It is Friday. It is the middle of the month. We are almost to September. By the way, August to me is the start of fall. I know we still have like a whole month to go. Nope. August to me is the start of fall. I have my Witch's Brew Alani, and I enjoy fall the best. It's my favorite. Fall is my favorite. So I hope you get to do something that is your favorite, whether that be have a quiet cup of coffee in the morning, read your Bible, read to your kids, watch a show alone, watch a show with your kids. I don't know, date your husband again. Highly recommend that when your kids are in school, is to reconnect with your husband and find out that you actually do like that man. Sometimes he would just do the dishes. But anyway, I hope that you guys have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you next week for another episode. Bye.